Hello everybody. Today we are looking at the Kinera Bd005 Pro. This is a budget, it's under the $50 price tag. IM. It features a 9.2 millimeter beryllium diaphragm dynamic driver and a 395 series balanced armature driver. So it's a hybrid. It's a budget offering. We're going to look at the specs here in just 1 second. Okay, looking at the back, you get a little chart. There's the graph of the sound. We have a sensitivity of 108 decibels. It's 16 ohms, easily driven. 1 DD, 1 BA, we've already said that. 20 to 20 kilohertz, 3.5 millimeter angled jack. We'll show that in just a minute. It is a 0.78 millimeter 2-pin connector. The cable length is 1.2 meters. And you see the different colors. It comes in a murky blue, granite gray, and jewel red. We'll be looking at the granite gray today. It is very beautiful for something in that price range. It looks far beyond, what you would expect. I mean, this looks like a much higher priced, especially with this ergonomic shape. Has these tips to kind of remind me of the tips that are on the Shazi. You see the nice mesh screen, the metal nozzle coming out of them. They almost look custom. They really do. They have a nice look to them. There's a little metal air vent right there. Quite a nice shape in my ear, at least. Found these extremely comfortable. Definitely, there's your 2-pin connection. Just really overall good ergonomics on this. Fits in the air quite well. Some good design there. All those nice flakes of gold. I'm assuming that they are different on each pair slightly. So kind of like a semi-custom for under 50 bucks, so that's good. So they're absolutely gorgeous. We're going to get that out of the way. They look fantastic. My favorite would be the red and the gray. Really looks nice, but I mean that dark color blue too shows off the sparkles very well. Looking at the cable, you get this nice big angled adapter. Some nice stress relief right there. The cable has a good thickness to it, and it's a soft cable, and it's springy. It flows very well. It's very flexible. It's not going to fight you a lot. Preformed air hooks with the 2-pin connector. It also comes with this microphone unit right here. This is Kinera right there. So it's a decent cable. I mean, a stock's cable. I've heard a lot of people, say that the cable isn't that good. And, stock cable-wise, it seems to be made well. I don't know how much it impacts the sound. I do know if you hook it up to balance, anything with a microphone, if you hook up to balance, you're going to get that echoey effect. It doesn't really work. So I'm just going to roll this cable up for now. There's that nice cable. Put that back in its little carrying case that it comes with. Comes with a case similar to the SIF, but it's got different graphics. It says, make it clear, make it real. These do have a nice clear sound to them. You also get your manual and quick start guide inside the box. A registration card that's the same shape, that traditional hex shape that Kinera uses. And then you get extra tips of the same type in the package. I'm going to put those off to the side for now. Here we go. We did the specs. Here's the box. Now let's get on to the sound of these, because that's the important thing. Isolation, far better than average. Very good isolation. These tips are very soft, marshmallowy. There's a nice distance between them and the nozzle. I had to go up one size. The stock ones are a little too small for my ears. These seem to fit perfectly. So you got good isolation, and with the tips and the shape, not only isolation, but the comfort as well. I could see you wearing these for hours, no problem. They don't feel bad in the ear. I know it does look a little bit on the big side, but it just fits in the ear very nice, or at least for me. Now that's going to be subjective, depending on people. People might have really, really small ears, and it may not fit in their ear. I can't tell. Even one ear is always different than the other, even on the same person. But for me, wise, it was very comfortable. The shape, and it did provide a very excellent seal. Now we get into the talk. I'm going to talk about the sound. Now, the sound on these, you have to remember these are a budget thing, and the sound on these is quite a fun sound. These definitely aren't overly balanced sounding. There is a good emphasis on the bass. They're not overly boomy in the bass department, though. It does have a decent amount of balance to it. It doesn't overshadow the mids very much. The mids do have a warmth to them, though. Maybe a slight recession, but the vocals seem forward and have a very pleasant tone to them overall. Then we get to the highs, and the highs do have a sparkle, maybe not as much as the faceplate, but they do have a nice sparkle to them, but they are tuned more polite. So overall, this is a safe, fun-sounding V-shape that should be great for every type of music that you listen to. It'll fit it perfectly. Some decent detail there, some nice overall imaging. Soundstage is average to above average, depending on what you're listening to and your sources. Overall, it's a nice IAM. It really is. For the price range, you're getting something that looks really good, that's custom. You get, the case and the cord and then the ear tips and everything. And a nice safe tuning. Really, this should be enjoyable, and it should offer, you hours of listening without fatigue, both in comfort and sound signature. Very safe buy if you're going to buy this. Really, strict audiophiles, they're not going to be impressed with this. But if you're just starting out or you're on a budget and you do like sort of a V-shaped signature, I totally recommend this if you want something that looks like it's custom. People can think you have a custom in-ear because it's so nice looking and everything. Totally decent sounding pair of IAMs that look totally great, totally comfortable. It's got the microphone, definitely something you could take to the gym, workout if you don't mind the cable, and just enjoy the music with these. Definitely made for music enjoyment and for long periods of time. So for that, and besides the fact that I actually think they're stunning looking, they're very beautiful. One of my top 5 beautiful ones that I actually have. I could definitely see somebody liking these, especially people just starting out into the IM thing. I want something that's very good tuned. Definitely, if you want to compare these to like the ZS10 Pros or something like that, or the ZSN, these, which, the ZSN obviously are cheaper. But this is definitely tuned much easier on the ears. The treble is not hot. There is a little bit of lift in the upper mids and the lower treble. It doesn't get shouty. I'm not going to nitpick with this because of it's in the budget range and because it's a V shape and everything. There is a little mild recession in the mids, but the vocals seem to be forward. And there is an open soundingness to them, but the soundstage in general is more on the natural side. It isn't overly wide, but it isn't narrow either. So it's natural sounding. There's some decent bass control there, and on tracks that have deep bass, this thing can actually get down deep, and that's nice. For the most part, the bass is more of balanced and controlled, but it does have a deepness and a depth. There's probably a little bit more mid bass than there is sub bass. but is definitely not without sub bass, especially on music that has a lot of sub bass. You can hear that there. So you're getting some decent vocals, some nice mids, typical of a V shape. You're getting a very polite treble, which is good for people that are treble sensitive. Um, and you're getting it in a nice package that not only looks good, but it feels good in the ear. You get your case, you get your cable, you get the hexagon box, and you get to pick between three good colors for the price. Definitely something to look into if you're interested. I'll leave a link down below. Once again, I hope this video was informative, and I hope to see you somewhere out on the internet. Thank you so much.